Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Culture Review. It doesn't matter if you're here on time, doing this live, watching the replay. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a pretty good sized panel today, and a few others that'll be joining us along the way. Unfortunately, for the first time in a very long time, we don't have AFK Bards. So one of the voices of reason that dial us back in from time to time, but. I have a strong feeling we have a lot to talk about, and I think AFK would probably agree with most of what sentiments are going to be brought to the table today. So let's do some introductions. Of course, to my immediate left is the very talented artist and creator, and the person who is actually going to be auctioning off the Batman that he recently drew. My friend, Makini Draws, also known as Makini90. What's going on, my friend?
Yeah, doing good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Makini90, artist and illustrator. Welcome you to the Sunday Cultural Review for July 25th, 2021. And as you can see here, what's going to happen after this is basically me trying to make my first attempt at trying to emulate Frank Frazetta, a legendary sci-fi and fantasy artist. So.
Yeah. Dang.
I already like what I see. So
yeah, and ambitious. Mm-hmm. Looks good, Maki.
It was all Bruce's idea. So
Bruce has a lot of really good ideas, but yeah. So immediately next to our friend Makini, who again has a draw stream right after this, is our buddy Shellbach TJC. What's going on, Shellbach?
I do.
Yeah, you do what?
I have a draw stream.
No, Makini does.
Oh.
You do some like anime academia thing.
Yeah.
I like to see Shellback do a draw stream though.
Hey man, I can stick figure like nobody's business.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the reason why he's supposedly trying to get me to do his comic book thing if he ever gets to do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, man. No, I didn't get to bed till like 5 a.m. So
Jesus.
We had a short nap.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like a full 8 hours sleep. It was just a short nap.
But yeah, and I had my very first, I guess you could say, monetized like stream yesterday.
Awesome.
I opened up a PayPal and Stream Elements, and so now I have a tippy tip thing on my channel.
Tip the turtle. You can see
which I desperately need and should have done a long time ago. But hey,
well, I am glad that you got that accomplished, guys. If you get a chance, head over to the Turtles channel. Check out the Anime Academia show, amongst the other stuff that I'm sure he'll start doing again, because he used to do a lot of shows. He was busy, and you can now tip the man. And
we didn't have an anime show yesterday because Close Call Kid, my man behind the scenes, had some family matters to attend to, so we didn't have a show yesterday. But hopefully next weekend.
All right.
And yes, like you say, I should start doing more stuff.
Whatever you have time for.
Toss a coin to your turtle.
I don't know. I may have mentioned this before, but you know, the way things have been for all of us the last, you know, year and a half. But I'm not quite sure what time of the day to do it. But I've been thinking about here lately doing a show. Like, I don't know, I'm not really sure on a title. Maybe Getting Mental or something like that. But some sort of you know, serious, semi-serious show. Just talking about, you know, mental health stuff on Mondays, maybe.
Oh, that's good.
That sounds really good.
Mental Health Mondays.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. That's good. That's a good idea. We've all had kind of a bunch of challenges for the last year and a half, 2 years. So it wouldn't be bad. Talking to anybody in any way is always very helpful. So yeah. So I look forward to that.
Another Manic Monday.
Well,
or Manic Monday.
Yeah, Manic Monday might work.
Speaking of which, the vocalist there that's right below Shellbach, of course, is our very own Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast, our very own version of Joe Rogan, even better version of himself. What's going on, Wes?
Well, it's great to be here on the Sunday Culture Review, as always. This is my favorite show, and it's great to be here with these amazing panelists, Machiny Draws, Shellback, Brightest Day, Mondo Merc, a.k.a. Cast in the Shadows. And we're here to talk about something that's going to cheer us up. They've resurrected a cartoon from our child.
Yeah, I don't think the cheery part was.
I think that's a cheery part, though.
But it's bigger than that, and that's kind of why this is labeled the conversation about the industry, because the industry as a whole isn't just television and film. But we'll get into that in just a moment.
We have we officially have. I won't spoil anything, but we have a new a new contender to Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. A contender.
At 2, Kevin Smith. At 2.
But honestly, anything you got coming up here, Wes, you want to talk about real quick? I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. You do a lot of shows, man.
Absolutely. Well, I'm no Culture Casino, but I try. So of course we're on Comics Division's, Yelling at Parked Cars on Mondays. And then on Tuesdays, we have Trekking on Tuesdays, where we celebrate good Star Trek. And that's either anything from fan productions, B-movie productions, other productions, which I won't name.
Adult-oriented productions.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll even head over to Odyssey and we'll watch actual episodes. In fact, last week, Captain Robert April was able to give us an original broadcast with inserted period-correct commercials, which was very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I love that kind of stuff. And again, I mean, think about it. You know, you end up watching a program the way it was supposed to be. I love
Absolutely. So yeah, back in 1969, people used to smoke a lot. They used to wear aqua velva, and they used to drive cars that got 4 miles to the gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Or 12 miles to the gallon.
12. Yeah, it might have been. It depends, big block, small block.
Spin immediately next to Wes is our friend, a returning guest, somebody who's been incredibly busy. Glad he's back. Mando Merc, otherwise known as Cast in the Shadows, a creator in many different ways, a video game connoisseur, especially when it comes to Star Citizen and other things, but beyond that, an artist as well. So what's going on, Mando?
A lot. Actually, we just last night, instead of doing our podcast episode, we decided to just spend the entire night redoing the entire schedule of what we do on our channel. And so now we split up what used to be anywhere from 3 to 6 hour live streams to 3 different live streams spread across the week.
Wow.
So now instead of Saturday nights, we're doing Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and each day is going to be devoted to a specific genre or topic. So, Sunday will be comic books, movies, TV shows, non-gaming stuff. Then Mondays is gaming, and then Wednesdays is pretty much the leftovers, whatever we don't cover.
Get to. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's a good idea. It keeps you well organized for sure, man.
Yeah, we felt that it was kind of annoying for anyone that did watch. That's like, hey, I tune out whenever you stop talking about Star Citizen, or when you do talk about Star Citizen. It's like this way everyone gets something and doesn't have to essentially just sit through something they don't want to listen to or are bored of, or just not for them. And this way it's also shorter for us, and this way we don't have to spend 4 hours on a myriad of topics. This way we can just focus on a specific topic per video.
That's smart, man. That's smart. Well, I can't wait to see the new format in action and swing by there. And you and I still have to try to get together and do some Star Citizen because I really want to get back into that now that I have a computer that will, do it very well. And finally, we have our guest panelist of the day, somebody that is an up and coming channel. This is Brightest Day, guys. Hey, Brightest Day. Tell them about you because they should know about you.
Thank you, Culture. Well, I'm Zach from Brightest Day. I do a myriad of things revolving around Gundam and Gunpla, model building, Battlestar Galactica, a little bit of gaming here and there, a bunch of random shorts, and then I just started covering some adult content on Wednesdays with a new After Dark stream.
Oh, yeah, it seems to be working for people to do some adult things here and there.
And YouTube doesn't not like you for that?
Thursdays.
So
sorry,
they haven't taken it down, and I haven't gotten any warnings. So how I did it must be very effective, or they're just not paying attention.
What the hell?
I feel like that's a blind spot for them.
It might be. It might be.
I think that's the case with ours because on Thursday we do an art stream with Mads Monbear and Rosetta Allen called Thursdays, and it's nothing but spicy art.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
look, I mean,
it's drawing different when you're drawing it versus. I assume this is like actual adult films.
Yes. So what I did was
definitely a different area for sure.
Definitely a different area. Yeah.
So how I got around this was I took screenshots from the scene and then I put them in Microsoft Word and applied the washout filter to it very heavily, so you almost can't tell. And then for some of the screenshots where you could still tell, I just stuck a big nope button on it. So I did plenty of self-censoring.
That is definitely the Brightest Day right there.
She definitely go check that out just to get some laughs in because it was pretty humorous. It was Angela Straven and I.
Oh yeah, Angelus is always fun with stuff like that. His schedule makes it so I only see him about once a week, which is kind of a bummer. But okay, well, we need to get underway. I need to say hi to everybody who showed up because there are 27 of you out there in the world. Thank you for joining us. There are a lot of things you could be watching right now. Believe me, I know, and I appreciate that you're here. Of course, Gulag for Life sends us some money or says money.
That doesn't sound uplifting
icon
at all.
there. We've got West Moody from the West Moody webcast giving us a poop emoji for 99 cents. Thank you for that. Eric Winberg is here. He gives us a thumbs up and we're on fire. Accidental Tourist says hi. Lord Runner is here. I did say it, even though it's just really Runner. Keely Chow. Mr. Dragon is here. I hope you are well as well. Nikki D. What's up, Nikki D? Scott Jennings of Dick's Division is in the house. What's up, Scott? And of course, the Dead DC. What's going on? Good to see you. You know what? We're going to talk about this subject that you cried with anger over the insult that is Kevin Smith's take on Masters of the Universe. I think a lot of people got a little upset. Again, it's going to be the primary or the beginning, at least the initial subject of these conversations.
Like I said, I think like I said last night, he is 2021's Ryan Johnson. That's saying something.
That's a strong take, and I think you're onto something there. But of course, like you said, we'll get fired up. We're gonna start with an article that I think will just get us into the conversation. Just another red shirt has popped in. We've got Captain Trek here. What's up, Captain Trek? Good to see you, my friend. And Small Time is here, a supporter of many, and I appreciate that very much. John 42 is in the house. What's going on, John? Good to see you, buddy. Oh, hail, your Muslim uncle is here. What's up, my friend? Peace be upon you. Zach 7 is here. What's going on? We've got Tina Bojan is here. What's up, Tina?
Hey, Tina.
Hey, Tina.
And our buddy Bruce is here. Bruce. Matthew Birkland is here all the way from Istanbul. What's going on, Matthew? Good to see you, buddy. Man, it must be evening. It's pretty late in the evening over there. It's good to see you. Thanks for swinging by. Let's see. Who else do we got? We got, Andre Enrico is here. What's going on? Good afternoon, everyone. Absolutely. For those of you who are having an afternoon.
We got another person.
Oh, we do. I'm going to bring in our buddy, the guinea pig. What's going on, Tommy?
Oh, what's going on, Culture? How's it going, everybody? How you doing?
Doing good. I'm glad you could make time for us today. You're usually very busy.
Dude, it's been one of those things. I've actually had a little bit more time lately. I mean, because I'm waiting on everything else. You know the story, but I just wanted to get into one of the things that have actually developed from this whole MOTU crap.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that there's starting to get a lot of people in the fandom that are starting to get a bit turt with one another. They're starting to get on that short fuse again. And I know we've seen the exact same thing happen right around The Last Jedi and then The Rise of Skywalker. You got to remember, it's okay to be able to disagree with people, but just try not to take it over that next line where you're starting to become exactly like the same people that you hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know, if you disagree about something, that's cool, right? Don't make it personal. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and again, I mean, I chalk that up to trying to, you know, act civil and be an adult, which is in rare supply. So try to be someone who supplies it. At least I try to. To that
Nothing
end,
wrong with having bad taste. Well, I mean,
Huh?
there is something wrong with it, but it's not my taste.
A lot of us
Well-
also have to take the personal notion that we don't have an obligation, either moral or otherwise, to change anyone's mind. You can present them
No.
information, but at the end of it, it's not your job to change their mind.
No, and it,
It's like, it's like, hey, man, you like vanilla ice cream with liverwurst and onions and pickles? Have at it.
well, you know, I know some pregnant ladies that would probably be all over that. But yeah, I see your point there, Wes. But your Muslim uncle sends us $1.90.
I feel like Tila wouldn't be getting pregnant in that show. Anyway, moving on. But go ahead.
Yeah, your Muslim uncle sends $1.90 in super chat and says something brilliant that I think a hashtag. This is an appropriate hashtag. Hashtag beware the bait and Smith.
Nice.
So
I called it Kevin Smithing.
Oh,
Yeah, let's go.
the Smithening. The Smithening.
The Smithing, yeah.
Kevin wordsmithing.
Yeah. I love it.
I think Benton Smith is a little more clever.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is,
the
very
bait and
much.
smithing.
Wouldn't it be weird if Ryan Johnson's Knives Out sequels are actually good movies while Kevin Smith just gets worse? Actually, I think that's the more likely outcome. I think. You know, I mean, at least Roundhead does make good original stuff, right? I'm not sure he can make a good sequel to an original stuff. Yeah, when Knives Out was
Knives Out.
Well,
terrible.
I mean,
Yeah, I
if
mean-
you can call Knives Out original. I mean, it's basically just Clue without being called Clue, but
Right.
you know, hey.
Well, you know what? I mean, honestly, when you take it in that direction, I mean, how many things are actually 100% truly original? Because most of these ideas for most of these shows and movies have already existed before in one form or another.
Of course.
That's true.
No, it's there are no original ideas, just original ways of presenting them. That would probably be yeah. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow says hello to everybody and happy Sunday. We have, as I mentioned, Tina Bojan here. I'm saying hi to everyone. Zax7 is here. What's going on, Zax or Zaz? I always do that. I don't know which that is. I'm going to say Zax7.
Yeah.
I think it's Zax. He hasn't corrected us yet, so.
Tox Fox is in the house all the way from the across the pond, as they like to say. So I appreciate your support there, Tox Fox. Let's see. Tila will be too busy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We glossed over something before, and that was, why does culture know so many pregnant women?
Hey now. I don't know if we glossed over it. I think we just wasn't enough room to explain it. So, but regardless,
Why do you know so many pregnant women?
Pause.
Look, everybody. So I'm old, right? So everybody that I know has kids who are now having children. So you go to, or you're exposed to a lot of younger people that are.
He's making sure that his legacy lives on.
No. I am not the
Pause.
Drew. Beware the Drew.
That's where I was going with it. Thank you.
You know, and this is a good point, Zach7. I constantly hear how men are supposed to be more sensitive, but when they get upset, they're toxic man babies. Yeah, express your feelings. Wait, stop expressing your feelings. You're being a whiner.
That's easily something that's annoyed me most in my life.
You're
is
feeling
not,
too much. Stop it.
Not feeling like I had the right to be angry.
Catch 22.
Yeah, and you know, and this is actually a decent point. Knives Out is Ryan Johnson trying to be Agatha Christie with a dong and failing. Well, Agatha Christie's a hard act to follow, to be honest. And Clue is one of those very good films. I mean, you just go back in time with the cast was incredible, was very funny.
It definitely aged well.
It did. It really
Yeah.
did.
Tim Curry was the perfect person for Clue.
Yeah, Andre Enrico makes another good point, which again I know we'll get into. The same weekend, Snake Eyes fails terribly. Black Widow and Space Jam 2 crash at the box office, and Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelations is rejected worldwide.
Wait, is Wannabe Snake Eyes already out?
Yeah, I didn't know this movie existed until I read a review of it in the paper yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, they made a Snake Eyes movie.
Yeah,
It doesn't surprise me that it's bad, but like,
yeah, Mondo, there's a lot of us talking about that because everybody agreed to the same thing. I mean, they took the original story and the lore of Snake Eyes and they destroyed it by doing the old swapping out. I mean, it was really uncalled for. I mean, there's more than enough canon that everybody loved from the beginning of that franchise that they could have ran with it, but they chose to go in a different direction just for virtue signaling.
What did they swap out? What do you mean?
Snake Eyes was a white guy, and that was the biggest thing about his character. And when he went to Japan to study under Storm Shadow's father and his clan, is that he was an outsider and he was a gaijin, and it was why he was never accepted.
It's true. All of that's true. And Andre Enrico's right. I mean, to date, or as the end of today, most likely, Snake Eyes will report box office numbers of about 13.3 million. 13. I didn't
realize they million. Race, like I knew he was white in the comics, at least, but like I didn't know because I read the comics and I didn't watch the original cartoon at least.
Well,
I didn't realize they swapped him out in the movie because I didn't know the movie existed until Friday. So or Saturday.
The actor they got for the movie is like half white, so.
Oh, you mean Golden?
Yeah, but it's
they got it 50%, you know.
Yeah, but it's from that same pool of Asian actors that Hollywood keeps grabbing from Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah. Why am I big?
Oh, well, you were talking.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I'm
no, and now. Yeah, okay, fine. Look, and here's the thing.
Be that way.
Okay, we'll be that way, exactly.
Hold on. Let's give Shell back the Kevin Smith approach to that.
Having Kevin Smith.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Not trying to make conspiracy, but for a reason, I have a feeling that a leak will come out saying KK High Republic author had involvement in this. It's exactly the way it was with TLJ. Disney owns Mattel. Huh.
It almost sounds like from what Tom was saying last night on the dump, that the same way with kind of Mattel's handling of the property is similar to Disney with Star Wars, or if closer, what was going on with the CBS Viacom split and who controlled what part of Star Trek.
Yeah.
I think rights issues are playing a huge role in just all the flat out confusion that's going on in Hollywood right now based on intellectual properties. So, to say nothing of the agenda they're trying to cram into the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh wow! I didn't know this. Small Time says everybody keep author J.W. Rinsler in your prayers. He's been battling pancreatic cancer. That's one of the worst kinds of fights you could ever possibly have. And yes, absolutely.
Pancreatic cancer is one of those that doesn't have a very good prognosis.
Now, Mattel has no connection whatsoever with Disney. They do, however, of course, they have the subsidiaries of Fisher Price and Mega Brands. So. And their last CEO, kind of funny, was a former Google executive.
That happens a lot, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Mattel does a lot. Well, not Mattel, but Disney licenses a lot to Mattel to make figures. So
right.
But they don't own Mattel. They just do a lot of licensing and contracting with each other.
Yeah,
they do. Disney does a lot of contracting with Hasbro as well too.
Exactly.
Because when Hasbro swiped up the old Kenner brand, that fell under the purview of Hasbro to continue that licensing for Disney. So, I mean, that's the thing. Disney has their arms everywhere. I mean, people just don't realize the extent that Disney does have arms into.
At this point.
Yeah, but it's a good thing that there is still independent companies out there, and Disney doesn't own them all. Because just imagine if Disney owned all of it, exactly what we'd be getting. It'd be 10 times worse.
Well, I mean, that's the unfortunate end game of capitalism, right? Is that the pinnacle of capitalism is a monopoly, where one company is so successful that they have managed to purchase everybody else. That's the unfortunate end game.
Well, except that not in the way we manage the proper capitalism properly. I mean, actually, you need competition in the marketplace for capitalism to truly.
The problem that we have here in the United States, of course, is that big. Okay, is that we have them in. We have crony capitalism, and they use the power of the government, the state, to enact rules and regulations that they somehow manage to get exempt from. And of course, the little guy has to follow the rules.
Lobbying is a real problem. That's 100% right, and it's frustrating, and we all kind of feel that way when it comes to these things. Now, Bruce Lombardo says, and this is I believe in reference to Snake Eyes. It was released, and local critics in San Antonio savaged the Snake Eyes film. It makes sense. They had billboards used for adverts for it. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Kind of weird.
Old school.
All right, this film released a couple of days ago, and there wasn't really a whole bunch of fanfare for it.
Friday or Wednesday or something, right?
Yeah.
The previews had started Thursday night at like 5 p.m. or something. The shows they roll into the Friday number. The Friday number
Thursday 10 in the evening.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, and the Thursday number rolled into the Friday number still amounted to 5,500,000. So it really didn't open well. It wasn't gonna. This thing.
As I said, I love Snake Eyes. He's probably one of my favorite characters of the G.I. Joe franchise, and I didn't even know this movie existed until this weekend. So.
Well, I was talking about it for a couple of weeks as something that was upcoming and was likely to fail, and I think. I think we all kind of expected that. But
we talked about in regards to the original creator, Larry Hama, kind of basically signing off the changes that they made to Snake Eyes.
That's insane. But your Muslim uncle says this, and this is, again, we're going to get into the subject pretty deeply in just a minute. When KS said he specifically changed Tila's hair because of Supergirl's sister, I lost my mind because that's exactly who I thought of. They are literally copy pastaing stuff. Yeah.
Well, if they would have pasted her hair, she would have had more.
Wow.
It depends on the pasta, but yeah, spaghetti.
Didn't we determine last night that they Ryan Cannelled her hair?
Yes. Yeah. I determined that. I
decided their head shaven. It's the what made people say the mental illness haircut.
I did. I actually showed. It reminded me of Kimberly from Melrose Place after she went crazy and she ripped the wig off. I guess I'm not the only one. I guess I'm the only one that saw that show. But, yeah.
I do you realize that I avoid almost all entertainment now? It's like almost nothing I pay attention to. That's anything that's new specifically.
The hairdos really don't bother me.
It doesn't bother me either. But it's very common. I notice, and it's tied to a specific type of character, character archetype, especially with female characters.
Right.
It's in its own way, it's a trope, I think. But anyway, the Dead DC says, my buddy who works at my local theater said to me in our D&D game last night, that's cool, that Black Widow and Space Jam 2 showings have been dead as Disneyland on a Sunday in January. Are people waking up? I think people just they know what they're interested in, and that's it. And unfortunately with Black Widow, and I'm going to say this again, it's going to be me repeating myself, I think everybody who wanted to see that film already saw it the first weekend, and you had a few stragglers that came in the second weekend, but I anticipate that thing won't be able to get out of theaters fast enough. Do you guys have a different opinion?
No, I mean, I think that's one of those things that your movie is going to do the most revenue it's going to do within that first weekend.
Always.
If it does not make a lot and it starts dropping off drastically like Black Widow did, that's a sure sign that it failed. It did not hit the target audience that they were looking for. So
yeah, it had no legs, and that was part of the conversation that I wanted to talk about on Friday. Was that all of these new films, all these things that have been making it into the theaters of late, and are also making it onto streaming, they don't have any legs. They're not. There's no staying power associated with them, and I think that's really it. Anybody else thoughts? Feelings?
I think if you were paying even a little bit of attention, that the fact that they came out with their damage control positive news shotgunning almost immediately should have given anybody that was paying attention a red flag that, yeah, this movie kind of didn't do what they were hoping it was going to do. And that's not even looking at like development numbers and advertising numbers and realizing that they had such a lofty goal to hit that they probably weren't going to do it.
Do you think that that's so? I'm assuming you're saying you're referring to the we made $60 million on Disney Plus announcement that they'd never ever done before.
Yep, absolutely. I think that as soon as you release that, the level of positive news that they did so quickly was definitely to try to cover their ass. I think anybody saw that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and Accidental Tourist here says Snake Eyes was already recently done. Black Noir in The Boys was a direct lift. Yes. I think that's probably true, and they did it better. And speaking of a direct lift, our buddy Mirasphere's Origin is in here, although he's not lifting a Minisphere. I was expecting a mini.
No. That's why I'm a little late today, is because him and my wife and my other daughter all went to their Nina and Papa's house for just a little bit ago, so I helped them get them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gone. But, I mean, oh.
All right. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're doing well. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division sends us a $4.99 super chat. Good to see you, my friend. As we've been, dancing around saying hey to you all day. I really want to see the standard Hollywood Batman reboot with Amy Schumer as Bruce Wayne.
Dear God.
I mean, I am disappointed we never got to see that Amy Schumer Barbie film, because I think that would have been a hoot and a half.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer Batman. Ugh.
Yeah, but wait.
Wait, you know that they wouldn't use Amy Schumer. You know that they would use the girl from the Bridesmaids. What's her name? She was in Ghostbusters. The big girl,
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, she would be Batman.
Yeah, no, actually, well, and Bruce continues. I think she'd be great with Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Alfred. Wow.
Bruce, stop giving them bad ideas and more.
Yeah, no, you know what? Robin Wright would be Alfred.
No, you know what? This is a sentiment that I've actually seen a lot of people expressing recently. Is they say if you're going to take it to this place that nobody really wants to see, and you're going to make it this bad, go all the way. Don't half-ass it. Just make it so horrible that you're not even hiding it anymore.
Right.
I do totally get it. I'm just
getting there.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they're not hiding it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's sad that we're coming to this type of scene where it's, we're all kind of just so jaded by Hollywood's just remake after remake, all of which is either bad or whether it's producer involvement or studio involvement, making it like, oh, we need to we need to abide by these markets and this market, or the more modern version of political correctness and having to make it all identity politics and all that. We're all kind of just sick of it and just like, yeah, exactly as you put it, Tommy, where it's like, yeah, if you're going to do it, at least do it to an extreme where it's, funny. But they're not going to do that because, I don't think they don't have a creative or humorous bone in their body.
Well, and to that end, I mean, if you look at this following statement from Bruce is on fire today. If only Dark Horse Comics didn't decide to close their doors. So you guys see what Dark Horse did?
Didn't Dark Horse get bought out by Marvel?
Oh, I wouldn't even be able. I don't even care anymore.
Well, I say it because they are Dark Horse made a bunch of Halo comics back in the day and a few graphic novels, and they are reprinting those now.
Maybe they license.
They're printing back issues of those old graphic novels to
things that sell.
Again. So
things that sell, back issues. Well, they came out recently and stated, and I'm paraphrasing, guys. I'm not going to pull up the article at the moment. Essentially, that they aren't just for straight white guys anymore. There's actually a couple of articles. Dark Horse, yeah.
The guys that made a movie in 1996 based on a female character there. It's called Barbed Wire.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's there's an article. Probably the best article is Polygon right now. So, but yeah. So, no, you're fine, Brutal Morning One. Thanks for joining.
They beat Marvel and DC to first comic book female superhero movie.
So Matthew Berkland brings up the interview that Kevin Smith talks about Netflix execs wanting He-Man to be this way. Anytime he did something they didn't like, he had to change it. So essentially, in order to keep the gig, he just decided to go about doing it that way.
Yeah, he learned his lesson when he used to go on the lecture circuit. Oh, I'm not getting full screen this time. When he went on the lecture circuit, he used to talk about how he was writing the Superman script, the Nicolas Cage one, I guess. And one of the executives told him he needed to put a giant robotic spider monster in it, and he thought that was ridiculous, and that didn't work out, and he didn't want to do it. But now when the executives tell him to do weird stuff like, I don't know, make Teela a totally different character, but still call her Teela, and murder He-Man, he's like, yeah, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to do what they tell me to do now. Yay.
Yeah, he's a sellout.
Yeah, so getting back to this Dark
He's
Horse
half the man
comics,
he used to be.
See,
can I go back to the Dark Horse comics real quick? So I'm looking it up, and nowhere do I see that they were actually bought out by Disney or
they're
DC.
They're still a private company with the same.
Yeah. I do see that at one point that there was a Chinese firm called Vanguard Visionary Associates who had invested in Dark Horse in 2018. And that was right around the time that Dark Horse started taking a plunge, like so many of these other companies that are acquired by these Chinese entities. So we were talking about that last night as well, how they buy into these companies, they destroy them, and then they make their own versions of them.
Yeah, well, and it's the thing that I keep trying to tell everybody, or at least bring to people's attention, that that's essentially what they did with Hollywood. It's what they are doing with Disney. It's what they've been doing. They come in, they invest in something, they get everything they can out of it, and then they bail and do their own thing. I mean, AMC pushed out 10 Cent finally, so that they have such a small stake in there that it's incredibly insignificant. Right now, retail investors own AMC. And you just watched an attempted raid of short sellers by another hedge fund here that drove the price down consistently. Made a little people wary, but overall, the stock is still doing okay. We need to do that at every level in every industry and kick out the hedge fund idiots that are driving all of this craptasticness into these companies. And we're going to have to do it one company at a time, one retail investment at a time, and just keep them out and get them back to being profit-seeking, good corporate citizens rather than these activist kinds of things. That's just my opinion, guys, and I didn't mean to get up on the soapbox. But Matthew Berkland says that there's lots of shaky cam in the Nick Guy's action scenes. They're almost unwatchables. I hate that.
I know a lot of people love in the Bourne trilogy and the Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, and the books were great, and the movies obviously have they're very highly revered, but I hate the action sequences in those movies because you can't see or tell what the hell is going on. It's always shaky cam, and the camera is almost like it's almost like the camera is part of the fight and getting punched around. It's like you want to watch the fight from a third person perspective where you're seeing what's going on, not where you're actually in the fight but you're not able to do anything. It's like
there was that one with the monster.
It popularized that.
Well, no. You're probably going to say Cloverfield. It actually started before that. The first time it came to prominence with the shaky cam was actually during Blair Witch. I think a lot of people forget about that.
I didn't say it started. I said it popularized it.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, it started with that. I mean, if it wasn't for Blair Witch and the amount of attention that movie got, and it was a pretty terrible movie. I mean, by all by all accounts, really, when you think about it, because
never,
there wasn't much of a story there. But that's what led into a lot of these like small independent films using the shaky cam, and then you start seeing in Hollywood like Cloverfield. So
or and then of course Transformers. That they took it.
That's where I was going with it. Where Transformers then used it because of the Bourne trilogy and how popular it made it. And then you can't great. So you have jagged pieces of metal glued together to form a humanoid-looking shape, punching each other with a shaky cam. How the hell
you saw that like that shaky cam just popularized into found footage thanks to films like Paranormal Activity.
Right. That's true. Mr. Dragon says here that I was looking forward to seeing Snake Eyes to be the main topic, but for some reason, someone needed to spotlight for his lies. But funny, he mentioned Captain Marvel, but nothing about TLJ. Yeah, no, actually, he threw out something else. What was it that he threw out, Tommy? That the other film that he said was
The Boys
wasn't. Oh, it was
good. The Boys, yeah.
The Boys.
Yeah, you mentioned The Boys, and then he mentioned Captain Marvel, and he's like, "Yeah, it's great. We're fine." I'm like, Captain Marvel was like the down. That was like Marvel's up like this and going like this, and then it's like scoob-ram, and then it kind of went back up the end game, and then now it just.
And your Muslim uncle agrees with Wes here. I think that crony capitalism is why I think more people are mad at Kevin for having been the little guy and turning into a lying shill. Yeah.
And becoming the very thing that he was against.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt, Machini, without a doubt, because when he first started off, he was completely counterculture to everything Hollywood was. He was that small-time independent creator that was giving fans something that was interesting, something new, much the same way that people like Tarantino did. And then he turned around, and what happened? He had a heart attack. His daughter really, I think, more even so than his wife, really pounded into him this SJW mentality of victimhood. And he fell apart, and he became the same thing that he hated when he started off his career.
What's that great Dark Knight quote? Either you die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, it's been a while though. He's been going downhill for a while. You can tell like all these major films that come out, and he's always crying and telling how great it was. They're just paying him to go there. They're like, hey. We'll give you some money. We'll throw a little hit at you if you come in and like cry and make everybody really want to see our film, because everybody knows, Hollywood knows that he was the geek. Like he was the fan base. Like he used to be what we represented. That's why he made it. And he made it big. And everybody kept using him constantly, especially these nerd products, because they're like, hey, everybody knows Kevin Smith and they're gonna like him. So let's keep putting him on all our shows and say how great it is so they'll come and watch it. And now he's just a fucking sellout.
And to be fair, a lot of his, I would pinpoint that I think it started in the 2010s that I think a lot more of his films were like a drop in quality. Like for example, I brought up Cop Out. I also brought up Yoga Hosers. A whole slew of films that haven't been really. I know Tommy brought up that he did like Tusk. So. I'll let that slip. But yeah, it's just.
I sat through Yoga Hosers. It wasn't that great.
Yeah, that Master Universe was. Oh my god, it was so bad.
So why don't we talk about it? Because I know I'm gonna say off the bat, I'm the odd one out here. I did not grow up watching or reading or anything Masters of the Universe. It just wasn't my thing. I was more Transformers and Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe. That was what I grew up watching and reading. So I've never really watched any of the Master Universe stuff. So this show and all the news surrounding it, I haven't been following any of it, and I really don't care. But like I can totally being a fan of other things that I have seen die. I do understand where people are coming from. But with this specifically, I don't know this. I read about it. I read how it's supposed to be a sequel series to the original.
Yeah,
but. I read, I think The Verge did a synopsis article on it, on the story, and I read it, I believe, on Darth Haster's channel last week when he invited me over. And it was like reading the article, like reading the synopsis, it's kind of like, we've seen this already. We've seen, it's like, okay, it's a post-apocalyptic future where a character is now a scavenger for tech to survive. Like, list any franchise in the last 10 years and it's done that. It's nothing new or interesting.
No, and you're right. I mean, right now Hollywood is all about rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. We're not
They've
getting
always been about
anything
that.
unique. Yeah,
Well,
we're not.
At least in the last 20 years.
It's it's almost like we keep seeing the same movie over and over and over again, because you have the female character that is behaving like a male character, and then you're killing off and basically demoralizing and portraying the male characters in a very negative way, like what they did with Duncan, Man at Arms. That was terrible.
I know, they fucking, oh my gosh, that was, I'm sorry, just the beginning, like 10 minutes of the show, they made the sorceress look like a fucking idiot, like straight off the bat, a fucking idiot. Yeah. She runs down there like, "Hello, He-Man, thanks for catching 2 bad guys." Whenever in any of the other old shows, I didn't watch the 1980s too much, but I watched the 2002. He-Man has never taken a prisoner to Castle Grayskull, ever.
Yeah.
So, why would he just randomly show up with 2 prisoners and not be on his lion and not have, in a cloak covering his head? Like, is he trying to hide from somebody? Like he's He-Man. He doesn't need to hide from anybody. So why is he wearing a cloak? Because they're like, "Oh, it's a cool review scene. Look, I'm He-Man." It's like everybody knows who fucking He-Man is.
And
but
you realize, no. I just want to say, I tapped out right about there. I mean, it just took me a little longer to hit the button than I had intended, because I made it 10 minutes in to the first episode, and I was like, "Nope, I know what this is. This is exactly what we were told it was." Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
But the worst part is that during that first, everybody's like, the first episode was great. When He-Man sacrificed himself, I was like, okay, I can kind of see that if you write it better. But the problem is, where it really hit the worst part was when Teela acted like a selfish piece of shit. I'm sorry, but if one of your best friends dies in combat, fighting your enemy, defeating your enemy, or you thought defeat your enemy, at least, sacrificing himself, you don't treat the parents like asshole. Like the mom's a little crying because her son died. Her dad, for some fucking reason, abandons his best friend for fucking years, who served him with honor for freaking decades, and a drop of a hat and threatens to kill the dude. No, that's not how it is. See, if they treated Teela like the character she used to be, Teela rushed over to the queen, braced the queen as she's crying about the loss of her son. They would have both been on the ground sitting or something, crying together, because they both just lost somebody. The king would have been supported by Man-at-Arms. When Man-at-Arms finally revealed to the king his son was He-Man and died, you could have done it where the father finally realizes his son was somebody he could have finally be proud of. And it was all him. He was, him to realize how much of a douche he was to his own son. Because I get it. They really treat him like a freaking dick, though, in this show.
Right. No, they did. They screwed it up.
Exactly. I mean, it's so out of character. It's in the original series, had He-Man died like that, the king and the queen, they would have been like, oh, they would have been proud, that he was He-Man, and I think that everybody would have respected Duncan for being loyal to him and keeping his confidence. And this just doesn't make any goddamn sense, and I'm getting mad.
Well, you know what? Here's another thing that doesn't make any sense, really, when you think about it. Now, because Man-at-Arms is actually the lead of the entire army for the king.
Right.
Okay. That's why he was given the title of Man-at-Arms. He was not specifically Adam's protector. Like they showed throughout the show, that was more Teela than anything, because that's why Teela was in almost every single episode, because she was like Adam's bodyguard. It wasn't Man-at-Arms, and it wasn't Duncan, because you didn't see him in every single episode of the old Masters of the Universe. And I think that's another thing that they missed when they did the show. I mean, just proving that the guy whose name is on the title of this, as being the big guy behind it, that he knew nothing about the franchise whatsoever. And considering that you were talking about, they had that 2000s reboot of it, He should have, because he took cues from that in the way that He-Man was drawn, because that was very reminiscent of that 2000s version where he was like extra beefy looking, like, extremely top heavy and everything. Yeah, that was very reminiscent of that 2000s reboot. So
yeah, no, and this is a share here from Makini, who's showing us, some story consistencies that do the same thing.
Right.
And then I'm going to read the super chat. Go ahead, Mark.
Right, because one thing I was noticing on Twitter was people were pointing out this specific clip of,
Tila
getting mad at Adam for dying.
Bitch. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's someone made a tweet that we saw that with Steven Universe, we saw that with the Flash, and we even saw that with Invincible. So I don't know if it might be a trend or just like, yeah.
I don't understand this. If you want to have strong female characters, if that's your thing, there are plenty of inspirations out there, and why not play to the best of women rather than the worst of them? It's like,
okay.
I mean, this would be like if oh, he didn't put the dishes in the sink when he got back. God damn him for dying. It's like
it just sounds like it's making, it definitely sounds like it's making Tila to come off as more selfish.
Yeah, and
she is. This whole show, she's a selfish bitch the whole time.
Well,
it's all about the whole show literally starts with, nobody told me, my feelings got hurt. Now I'm gonna fucking abandon everybody I know for no fucking reason. I'm going to run away from my responsibilities. I'm going to run away from my family. I'm going to run away from everybody. I'm going to find some random thing that just makes me money because I'm only one important. And the whole time I'm going to complain about how our exes are stupid. And then they have the whole, what's her name? Evil Lynn complaining about Skeletor and how she could have been a ruler. And then as soon as Skeletor shows up, she's like, "Hey, Buster."
Hey, Mirror, where did we see that before, though? Where the female in the show had a evil overlord that she turned against because he disrespected me the entire time and he hated me and I hate him now. We've seen the same thing with Harley Quinn and the Joker, the exact same thing.
Well, and it's you're seeing it more and more, but there's something bigger here, guys. I mean,
the Joker makes sense. He's an abusive.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Person. Like that's a good thing that she left.
Though I'll say, Skeletor sounded like the Joker this entire show. Mark Hamill, I love you, man, but you sounded like Joker the entire time.
Well, that's the thing, Manosphere. He's hitting those, like, because you considering Mark Hamill's age, it's like he's hitting the same 3 character notes. Like even when he was playing Trickster in the Flash, all you still heard was Joker. You expect him to make that Joker laugh because it feels like he's hitting those same notes over and over.
Here's the thing. I thought in the beginning of the 5 episodes, when he first showed up as Skeletor, he sounded different.
Right.
But when he returned, spoiler alert, folks, he returns and kills He-Man. Sorry. Didn't mean to ruin it for you. No. He returns, and when he returns, that's when he sounds like the Joker. It's totally different from his earlier performance, like the part where he says, "Come with me, Evelyn," or whatever it was. It was like that's the Joker right there.
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, they put this together obviously on the shoestring budget with lots of influence or overreach by people that work for Netflix. Some executives that reportedly were a little bit ideological.
He admitted that.
Yeah, but look, you've seen this before. And there's a bigger issue, like I was trying to say. The bigger issue is you're telling women to be selfish, annoying,
sociopaths,
blame men. That's what you're telling me.
Sociopathic.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, you literally are saying. I mean, you just watch the same representation, not only in Birds of Prey, not only in all these other places, but you saw it. You saw it in WandaVision. Right, you see it. You see it in the portrayal of the portrayal of the variant in Loki. You see the females being turned into things that aren't admirable, right? And they're selfish and they are not held accountable, and that's perfectly fine. This is all a no accountability for your actions kind of drive. These are people who are getting rid of morality, and they're doing it on purpose.
And it just it's this we're strong, we're strong, independent women, but we're also victims.
Yeah. No, and you can't
they slowed down and stopped the action in the movie for Tila to almost like monologue about how she can't find herself, and it's because I've been in He-Man's shadow. I'm afraid of my power.
It's like, the same garbage.
Frick out of here.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's the same garbage in Black Widow. It's the same. This is a recurring thing. This is not new. This is the presentation of bad behavior being acceptable and no consequences.
Acceptable from women.
Well, it's true. And other things, and when you do the right thing, you get called out for it, like Makani was showing. But I need to get to this super chat that's been on the screen for 10 minutes. So Bruce Lombardo of It's Division for $4.99 says, I think Kevin brought out the Ricky Schroeder reels and saw the little blonde boy become a millionaire by crying on camera. And I don't think that's a wrong thing to say.
I don't think that's so either.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people here, and it is what it is. I mean, look, let's do this. We're going to bring in the article I wanted to share, and we'll. This is our starting point. We already started. This was going to be our starting point. Kevin Smith promises he won't ruin your childhood with his new He-Man cartoon. This was dated Friday. This was Friday. It's Sunday. He's already been doing damage control for 2 days. Okay, so he promised
he mocking. Didn't it release on Friday?
It did. Thursday in the middle of the night. But it's insane because Kevin Smith has a new Netflix series based on He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelation, except it's not based on He-Man. It's fine. But anyway, launches the 23rd. Smith says if you're a fan of the 80s cartoon, you won't be disappointed. That's a lie.
Lie.
That's it? That's our article?
Well, yeah, because it's a video. This YouTube Entertainment does videos, and they do like little introductions to them. So it's kind of, it is what it is. But the whole point is, this was the jumping off point for this discussion. We didn't even need it because everybody already knows what's going on because this was so poorly received. And to be fair, he released these 5 episodes and then had a live stream. Did you guys catch it? I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. It was going on. So he had a live stream that was going on during both Rogue Entertainment and the Dump yesterday. Right. And one of the members, or I guess you say one of our biggest supporters, TT, he's been keeping an eye on like the ratio and the number of dislikes. Right. And it's like
2,000 on dislikes.
Yeah, and it's like Kevin Smith, the whole stream was basically just kind of Kevin Smith, in a way showing his true colors. The fact that he was gloating about telling Clownfish TV that everything he said was right. The fact that, he had one of the people there saying, if you don't like it, don't watch it. You can still have the old stuff to watch too, which is very condescending. It's just a lot of it. And I think a lot of it wasn't really just like, in my opinion, it wasn't really like Kevin Smith, just shilling, but showing his own true colors, showing that he has disdain for the fans because they basically, because when they called him out on it, he knows deep down inside they were right. They were right 100%.
And he shut off the comments.
Was right.
In his own live stream, he kept promoting it. This is your chance to talk to me. You the fans discuss with me about the show.
Yeah,
and then he shut off comments.
Well, not only that, he paid off comments as well.
Yeah,
you're talking about shilling and stuff like that. But look, you're going to get that in a lot of those panels. Right. If you've ever been to a Comic-Con, there are people that are there to ask questions, so that gets the ball rolling. It's always really soft.
Culture.
Just
so you know, I'm sharing something in the Culture Review chat.
Oh,
you got to see this new ratio number right now.
Okay, I'm looking there now, my man.
What's going on? Oh boy! Oh
boy! Holy cow! Oh man, I don't. Let me figure out how I can share this without doxing every friggin' thing. Hang on.
Okay.
My goodness.
I can hear Kevin Smith right now.
Yeah. Yeah, literally that whole live stream was him and whoever that beta male punk that was like.
That was the guy that did the
name?
voice of Orko.
Yeah, it felt like talking with that. What's that guy who made the Safe Space? Freaking Kibblesmith. It felt like him sitting with Kibblesmith talking about how bad people are, and then he's like, none of these ever have broken my what do you call it? He's like, no show has ever ruined my childhood. He's like, you guys just, you don't get it. And it's like, okay, so you're not really a fan. You've never been one of us, because if you were, you would understand where we're coming from.
That's
you would have known where we're coming from.
And it's not a problem with you not being a fan. I mean, if you just came out and said that you weren't a fan and just came out and just been honest. And I think that's what that's the really problem was that Kevin Smith is not he wasn't being honest. No. He was lying the whole time, and he was very disrespectful to people who have concerns, especially Clownfish TV. That's why a lot of people, myself included, are saying he owes Clownfish TV an apology after this weekend.
No, he never. That's after this live stream where he pretty much was like, I never lied. I didn't say Tila would get the sword. I said that she wouldn't get the sword. I'm like, you never said that actually in that comment. What you said was, this is not a Tila show. This is He-Man show. Duh. And then it wasn't He-Man show. It was Tila. It's not even Tila, because this isn't Tila. This is Snarky
not
Bitch
Tila.
Show.
Yeah, this is somebody else. This is,
this
is Captain.
And I feel bad because the first toy I ever played with was the little Orca guy. What's it? I don't think I said his name right, but Orko. Yeah, Orko. Literally, is the first toy I ever got to play with, because at my grandma's house, she had not very many toys. My grandma had very limited toys in her house. She had a huge thing of Barbies, because she had my mom and my aunt. And then she had like a bucket with like some McDonald's toys, and they had one action figure, and it was him. And that was it. And I played with that thing forever. I didn't even know who he was at the time.
Well, here's fair. Here's the thing about that toy, though, and most people actually forget about this. When Orca was brought out, he was brought out and created exclusively by Filmation. He didn't exist, and it was actually based on Scheimer, the guy who wrote the series and owned Filmation. Oh, really? He actually did the voiceover for it as well. And the thing is, it didn't exist in Masters line until after the show, because the fans of the show wanted to see the figure made. So Kevin Smith coming out and saying, "Oh, well, nobody ever liked Orko to begin with." Obviously he admitted freely many times on Comic Book Men, on Twitter in 2010. He's admitted that he was never a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe fan at all. And this proves it by him coming out saying that kind of garbage. And then he wonders why people are just pissed off with him. Why he got ratioed because, toxic men. No, it's not toxic. We were promised one thing. You said that this is what we were going to get, and then you straight up lied to us, and then you say that we're the problem because we didn't get what we were expecting.
And then mocks us ridiculously. Like,
exactly.
Well, Netflix doesn't give a shit about you. I still get paid. Ha ha ha. It's like, really?
Why he's showing off his stupid shoes.
You might want to regret saying that, because Netflix is like not very happy that they lost 500,000 subscribers since the last quarter. They're down like hugely, and they're like really wondering why they're down. And now you're saying that Netflix is like mocking us behind the scenes. Okay, that's fine. It's good to tell the entire subscriber base of a subscriber that they don't like you flat out, and okay, let's take our money somewhere else, and see how fast Netflix changes their tune when.
But it's nothing.
A couple million people disappear.
Yeah, it's nothing new. You've got
but it's not gonna matter.
They've been driving everything downhill, and it's willful and it's purposeful, and they don't care. And we need to get that through our head and make them fail faster. So we want to encourage them to make bad decisions, or to at least, just cover the fact that they're doing it. Because look, this is from the San Diego Comic-Con panel thing, right? That was last night, and right now that ratio is 2,500 up to 8,200 down. He had, and it says there's 74,000 views. That's probably true, but during the live stream itself, it wasn't even close to that many people watching. Right, so they watched it all on the balance. Now this guy,
like 5,000 people watching or something like that.
It was less than that. It was far less than that. In fact, there were more people watching Flashcast for the most of the time last night than there were this thing. And I mean, Yellow Flash, a big channel, but this guy is double the size of Yellow Flash, and he's got 551,000 subscribers. And this is what he musters. He musters 2,500 people that engaged positively, and 8,200 that engaged negatively. And he turned off comments or he would have been roasted. And Daniel Hall is correct. Clownfish, about 20 minutes or so ago, dropped a brand new video talking about the panel seeming like a wake. So if you guys want to check that out later after the stream, please do, because Clownfish has been doing great work for all of us for quite some time now. But this isn't the only thing that's being infected by this.
Hey, Culture.
Yeah.
I'm about to.
Okay. All right, my friend. I'm bummed out. I know you got to keep it short, and unfortunately, this whole stream is going to be a little shorter than normal because we do have a lot of panels happening today, and I like to support everybody. But go ahead, Maki. Do your
absolutely. So, I know this has been kind of a little bit of a downer, but if you want something to kind of cheer your mood up, head over to my channel for our Sunday edition of Machiny Live, where you will watch me attempt Frank Frazetta and basically fail miserably at it. So,
I'm sure you're fine.
So if you over on my channel, go and check it out. And I think it's going to be me. I think it's me, Mads Bear, and M. Dashley are going to try to do something Frank Frazetta inspired, and it was all Bruce's idea, so you can definitely thank him for it. So check it out, and hopefully that'll brighten up your day. If the He-Man stuff does make you a little bit of a downer. So all right,
hey Muggy, also check your DMs. I sent you a couple DMs.
Absolutely, and by the way, I will update you guys on. For those who didn't catch the dump last night, I will update you guys on the Batman piece as well.
Dude, that looks awesome, by the way.
So stay tuned for that on my channel as well. I'll give you more details about that as well. So I'm going to go set it up. Much love, guys. You are incredible.
Thank you. Guys, support Machiny. He is closing in on the magic. He deserves it. He is working really hard. We've got everybody here on this panel that deserves to hit that magic number and get monetized. And that's one of the one of those things. I mean, as much as you get to you reach that monetization, you realize that you should have had a stream elements all along, right, Shellbach?
So I just want to say that if everybody watching here set up 10 sock puppet accounts and subscribe to me, I'd be monetized.
Yeah, but
I'm not suggesting anything. But,
no, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. Bad things can happen to creators if they figure that out. So don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I get you.
Well, that's why he's asking others to do it and not doing it himself.
There you go. Well, Bruce Lombardo, I know he's going to flow over to Machiny stream as soon as it gets started because he's a big supporter and usually a part of the stream. You guys can check out what Bruce does with his models. He's very talented. He says for $4.99. So with all of the revelations of the last 10 years, will you finally support pawn shops and independent creators? 100%. I just did. I did not buy from Amazon when I bought this microphone. Right. I went to a brick and mortar store. When I'm looking for other stuff, I frequent the secondhand market, whatever that happens to be, which would also include eBay and things like that. Right. So I'm doing my very best to support the independents. And I think we should. I think that's the people we have to do.
Comic Skate guys. And you get awesome shit.
Oh yeah, man! I'm waiting on Red Gaze, Vinny, and Neri. I'm waiting on their books.
Part of the fun of going to like a secondhand store is just some of the stuff that you just never know what you're going to find. The fun of going through it, kind of the smells of older things, and it's just a fun experience. So definitely.
Well, here's the thing, guys. I mean, this is why these are great, is because our buddy Latino Slant, Paulie, he went to a pawn shop that wasn't too far away from him, and he came across some unopened vintage toys.
Power of the Force. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Nice.
I was like, dang, that was pretty impressive. Tommy and I were drooling over that yesterday, I think. And it's so, he's like, well, they have boxes and boxes of this stuff, and that blows my mind. But you have to remember, I mean, pawn shops were usually where the overruns and stuff usually ended up ultimately, right? Either that or the dump, right? So, we watched the shredders working on the Star Wars toys that we're not going to sell.
Culture, what's even better than some of the pawn shops. If you have one in your local area, go out to a flea market, because not only independent sellers, you're creating business for people who are small like us, people that may need the money. Go visit those people, buy off them. I mean, you're going to get stuff more than likely it's coming from somebody that respected the franchise to begin with.
Very true. Very true. And a cute nerd brings up a good point. How many people remembered Comic-Con was happening right now?
No,
not me.
I didn't even know what was going on until
I think I am going to New York Comic-Con this year for the first time.
Are you really?
First time since 2019.
NYCC. All right. Well, you have to take some video, brother. With your phone or whatnot, and let us see what's really going on, because I don't think it's going to be occupied very heavily. And this is a true statement right here, Mr. Dragon. They are on their way to going down. There are 200 and something million subscribers. They're going to start heading for the door, and because their original content isn't up to snuff, and that's the other problem. They refer to everything they're making as content. It's not quality television. It's not quality film, although they've made a few quality films. They're referring to it as content, and everybody else is as well. And we refer to ourselves, and we maybe shouldn't have, but as content creators. But we do. But content is consumable. And then usually, especially if it's a stream like this one, is thrown out of your mind in a few weeks, right? So,
Culture.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that the deciding factor with Netflix and whether or not they're going to be able to continue is going to be how well that they manage to pull off Cobra Kai in season 3? Could you imagine if they come off with a woke piece of trash for a third season of that, what that would do to their numbers?
Oh, they would. I mean, you'd have, because they brought in tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of new people that when Cobra Kai migrated, right, and it kind of abated a quarter where they were projected to have a considerable churn. So I think that's very well stated, Tommy. I think that's likely. But here's the thing: do you think that the showrunners of that show will let it go that direction?
I don't know if they're really going to have much of a choice, because you figure everything they did in season 2 was already filmed under the other company. It was under the other umbrella before it moved over to Netflix. I mean, so Netflix really didn't have a chance to really stick their hands into it too much. So now you're talking about something that is completely filmed in under the direction of Netflix. So if they are heading in this direction with everything else, there is a very good chance that they're going to stick their hands in this pot and mess it up too. Because if they're contractually obligated to listen to their overlords, what? I mean,
yeah, but usually going in, especially on something like that on a rescue property, the showrunners have the creators have a creative latitude in order for you to get pulled into, because believe me, Cobra Kai was a property that many services wanted. It was just YouTube that wanted to get out of.
Little Freudian slip there, eh? Cobra Kai. Well, let's hope not.
Yeah, sorry. I was hoping not. But here's the interesting thing. Bruce Lombardo brings to our attention that there's an entire movement at Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, to ruin the D&D franchise. Yes, we know. It is to the core where we
my own D&Ds.
Exactly. We don't need them to make the paper pencil, the paper pencil dice games. I mean, honestly, we modified a lot of these systems when we were playing way back in the day, because they just didn't suit the play style or the campaign we wanted to run or anything else, right? And you change the way you
fix. If you get the simple version, like really just the base version of D&D, I can turn that into a Transformers D&D, no problem.
Yeah, it doesn't take months. Everything now is available in PDF. Say again?
I said right back there, I got Pathfinder starter kit and the D&D starter kit. I just haven't really got into it yet, so I'm trying to learn it.
Yeah, and Fury Kitten's right. Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm, and that is actually the very embodiment of J.J. Abrams. So, I mean, we'll just, we'll have to deal with that. But one of the other articles that I find is interesting, and this is going back a couple of weeks, and of course, it's from our friends at Bounding Into Comics, that Kevin Smith's attempts to assuage fan fears about Masters of the Universe Revelation. And of course, John F. Trent himself wrote this article, and essentially saying, I'm not going to read the title again. The fan fears about the show revolve around Netflix's original description of the series, as well as a rumor claiming that the show would sideline He-Man for Teela. Back in the 2019 PowerCon, the show was announced by Kevin Smith. Not only was the show announced, but an official description was also revealed. And this is the thing that made it very clear to everybody that from the word go, he was lying. A radical return to Eternia Revelation is a direct sequel series, which it can't be, to the classic era of Masters of the Universe, featuring fan favorites He-Man, Orko, Cringer, and Man at Arms.
Oh, hold on there. How can he contradict himself so elegantly like that? How can a fan favorite be Orko when he said that nobody cared about Orko?
Right?
Anyway, in the description, it added, but after a ferocious final battle, forever fractures Eternia, it's up to Teela to solve the mystery of the missing Sword of Power in a race against time to prevent the end of the universe. Her journey, not He-Man's journey, not anybody else's journey, but her journey will uncover the secrets of Grayskull at last. This is the epic He-Man and Masters of the Universe saga fans have waited 35 years to see. Wrong.
Yeah, we waited 35 years to see Teela, kill He-Man and turn Teela into a totally different character. Okay.
Well, interestingly enough, this also breaks down all the tweets that, came back up, and Kevin kept putting out there in the world. The guy brought all of this on himself. And again, this is from Clownfish. They wrote, by the way, they released another video, as was mentioned earlier, about an hour ago now. My understanding of Kevin Smith's He-Man series from an alleged insider, Teela is a better He-Man than Adam, and he steps aside to let her and her girlfriend take over hero duties. They added, if true, this won't play well. And guess what? That was accurate. True. Right? Smith addressed the rumor at the time on Twitter. He wrote, as showrunner, I really could have used these story suggestions before we locked the scripts. He added, however, no, He-Man does not step aside, and Teela has no girlfriend in our show. Then he concluded, the storyline is pretty dark and way metal, but before Revelation, we were calling it End of the Universe. All right.
What does he know about metal?
That's what I was asking. Like, how is he metal?
I'm gonna give some credit here, and that the animation is nice, and I do like the score. Yeah. And there is a heavy metal moment from the cartoon movie Heavy Metal, where there's a blade that comes out that did remind me somewhat of heavy metal. But that's about it.
To be fair, He-Man can't possibly step out of the way if he's laying on his back, bleeding on the ground.
Yeah, if he's dead.
That's true. Well, let's continue, and then we can get back to it, because there's some chat comments I want to highlight too. In a subsequent tweet, Smith wrote, also Clownfish TV, instead of posting your faux insider info, here's a real story. Mattel made a behind-the-scenes video featuring our actors recording. So a fan took some of Mark and Lena's dialogue and spliced them into old Filmation clips. Okay. Then in May 2020, Screen Rant ran a report claiming that He-Man would not be the main protagonist. Again, Screen Rant occasionally gets something right, by the way. They claimed one major difference is that though He-Man will certainly be around, he won't be the main protagonist anymore. Instead, the focus will be on Teela. They added, even so, He-Man should still have a large presence since the series never did get to explore the final battle between He-Man and the greatest enemy, Skeletor. The art is beautiful. Look at that.
It is. It really is. It's top
The
notch.
animation was great, except for Teela and
Smith would also respond to this report. He wrote on Twitter, with all due respect to Screen Rant, I've read every Masters of the Universe Revelation script for our shows, plus wrote a few, and viewed 4 amazing animatics. While Teela is as present as she's always been in MOTU adventures, and she plays a big role, our series is literally all about He-Man.
Hey, Culture, I wanted to get back on that real quick. So me and Tom were having that discussion yesterday, and we were talking about the shows, and he wrote a bulk of the shows. Right there, he says in his own words that he only wrote a couple. And the other argument that people were making, and well, when he says literally about He-Man, that's what he meant. No, literally means that He-Man is going to be the main arc, the main person in the arc of the story. It's the word that you're looking for is figuratively, and no, He-Man is not. Literally part of the show. He is figuratively part of the show.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And just real quick, hey, Lola, good to see you. So many other people that have rolled in here and joined us. Soul Assassin's on fire in the chat, so hopefully I can find the comments I wanted to highlight there. I appreciate everybody's support.
Yeah, we got Orville Nation, too.
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, and PJ's here. What's up, Peach? I'm getting a chance to hang out with PJ again here coming up this next week. I always love doing that. And Lola, you're not wrong. They're great for old NES games. If you need Nintendo old games, absolutely true. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Tommy. This quote that you're talking about, I mean, he literally says that he wrote a few and viewed 4 amazing animatics. Interesting. What does that
I believe
say?
the part about amazing animatics.
Yeah, me too, because the animation is ridiculously good. Tommy, did you see the animation and stuff, the art? Did you think that was good? I mean, you would know.
Like I said before, I watched a lot of the trailers and I watched a lot of the clips of the show that were actually put out there. I can't bring myself to watch it. I've looked at it 3 times on Netflix last night and I couldn't do it. And I went back and I rewatched The Power of Grayskull, the documentary about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, because I just could not bring myself to watch this show. But the animation style very much reminds me of the 2000 reboot. You know, when there was a company, I'm failing to remember the name of the company. They came up with these toys and because they wanted to do like a reboot of the Masters of Universe toys, and Mattel gave them the blessing at the time, and they created these wonderful looking toys that were more like collector's items than actual toys. Then Mattel took their idea and then they made the classics line. And right around that same time is when they decided to do a cartoon version of what the other company had put out, because the characters looked more like the other company's toys than they really did Mattel's classics version. And that one was fairly well received, but it didn't have a very long, running life. It fizzled out pretty quickly. And I can only assume that that's because they didn't do enough marketing behind it with toys and everything else to really keep it going. Because like all those franchises we know and love from the 80s, like whether it was G.I. Joe, whether it was Transformers, I don't care if it was My Little Pony, whatever you liked at the time, there was a comic book, there was a cartoon, there was regular advertisement to go along with those toy franchises. And that's why they had the staying power that they did. These newer ones that they come out with, they don't have that. Like even this thing, now all kinds of companies are trying to jump on the bandwagon, but they're jumping on the bandwagon for a show that other than Kevin Smith and maybe a few people that are, crying in their soy milk, nobody else cares about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been pretty obvious with the way that he's been ratioed.
That ratio is going to get worse and worse and worse. Dude's like, I'm being review bum. No, you're not, dude. If people don't like what you did, you knew this was going to happen. And the dead DC, I see what you're saying, that Netflix won't go down for a long, long time. They will go down slowly because, again, Cobra Kai isn't something they own. The Last Kingdom is, I think, something they own. The Witcher they own. But here's the problem. They're destroying The Witcher and they've already done a pretty decent job of bringing down the quality of Stranger Things. And you can't survive on 5 things, especially as a streaming service, because people will give you the 1 month subscriber thing just to watch it, and then they're done. And there are 100 other ways to see those streaming programs that aren't Netflix. There are lots of ways.
Gary likes to put it, where they're still relying on the binge model, which is not sustainable. They're going to have those pieces of content released, and then the interest for it is going to wane almost immediately because people are going to watch it and then be done with it.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, but in here the cute nerd says something else, and this is important. Lots of streaming services will be looking to India for subscribers, but the value of money is different there, and they pay less. Oh, far less. Yes, this is something I preach about all the time. It's called ARPU, the average revenue per user. It used to be average revenue per unit, but they changed that because now it's users. So anyway, the whole thing here is that right now Disney Plus, is an example, earns 70 cents per user in India. That's it. That's all revenue, and that's not profit. Profit and revenue are not the same. That is revenue from every subscriber that they have in India, which is driving the ARPU down for their US subscribers, which again are still sub $5, which is dumb. But and you're losing US subscribers consistently. This is very true, and all of the subscription services are in that position. Lucifer season 6 slotted. Suspect a huge subscriber drop by the end of the year. Yes, Tina, and that's exactly feeds into what the cute nerd said. We're gonna Tina and I are gonna watch. Yeah, Tina and I are gonna watch the last season of Lucifer, and that'll be that. There won't be any reason to do a trial for Netflix or borrow, a family member's account or anything. So.
Yeah, I watched the first half of that one season. I loved it, and then I'm too afraid to even watch the rest of it. That's how I don't want it ruined for me, because I like Lucifer. I just had this feeling I'm going to start watching the last bit of that Lucifer and hating it, and I just don't want to do it. So I refuse to open it. Like, it's there. It's like, new episode. You gonna watch it? Like,
yeah. I hope we're wrong. I always hope we're wrong, right? But anyway, look, he lied about this. This is what we ended up with, right? And
they could have worked with it. They could have done it better.
Every one of these characters is presented in exactly the same way as pretty much every other character is presented. The racial breakdowns, the presentation, when they start talking about unrealistic body models, I can't imagine this being more unrealistic. This is not what we see day to day. It's not. I mean, even Black Widow doesn't look like that. Brightest Day has been very quiet. I'm going to make Brightest Day talk about things. Brightest Day.
So, one, I'm trying to be respectful to everyone else.
No, you're good. You're good.
What makes me curious is, first, if you could share my tweet response to what you were just talking about as far as body types go. This is Russian HEMA competitor Elena Muzarina. Mm-hmm. So she's a woman who competes in longsword in historical European martial arts all the time. And she is a small, athletic, lean, agile woman, which is a realistic portrayal of what they claimed they wanted Tila to be. So right off the bat, they're being disingenuous. And as far as this overall situation goes, and I've been kind of holding this thought for a while, is I'm curious how much longer they can hold on to these subversive tactics where they lead us in with nostalgia, misrepresent what they're going to give us, and just all around ignore people's ability to suss out bull. People are better at recognizing when they're being gaslit than these people want to let on. And I think that's just, I don't know if that's a generational thing or if it's an age-based thing, but sooner or later, people are going to understand, especially when you repeat, because they've been doing this for 5-10 years now in various levels.
Yeah, lying. Yeah, but see, and here's the thing: they tell these lies, they tell the lies, they tell the lies. People are like, "You're only trying to tell these lies so many times, so you get people to actually believe you." But you can't. You have no evidence to sustain anything that you're saying, and you consistently misrepresent everything. So no, you're right. You're right, Zach. That is. That I don't know. I don't think it's sustainable. I mean, I don't.
I mean,
Well,
it's not like a bad marriage, and I should know. Like sooner or later, you understand when your partner is being abusive, and in this case, you're being abused.
There you go.
Well, I mean, you see it in the ratioing that they're getting, and channels like us springing up. Well, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but there is a reason for it all.
But that's what you're good for.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. I mean, we are being very careful in this conversation, to talk about this, because again, the whole reason I wanted to label this show what it was, and hopefully lots of people will get a chance to see it later on the replay, was so we could have this conversation about the industry and the lying that goes on constantly. Everything is a lie, and it's not a lie in preservation of like a secret that good. It's a lie in preservation of something else entirely. And, and this sentiment from Soul Assassin says it all, Wes. It says, with the He-Man debacle, I'm worried for the Conan the Barbarian show they're working on. Even with the showrunner being a non-woke writer, it could go woke. Well,
exactly. None of this stuff is an accident. There's a reason all of this is showing up in these different IPs. It's not an accident. It's agenda, and we've been talking about it, and we're pointing it out, and we'll continue to point it out. Go ahead, CC.
No, please.
Well, that was really the end of my statement here, and I think we need to continue calling them out. I guess if we're looking at behind the scenes, money that's showing up behind the scenes and the agenda behind that's more cause for concern. But again, that's rabbit hole stuff that maybe we don't want to get into here.
That's probably true.
Hey, Culture, there's something I wanted to just touch on ever so briefly.
Oh, yeah, of course, sir. Absolutely.
So one of the things that I did see when people were trying to defend this look for Tila and Evelyn and Andra character is they're trying to say, oh, well, strong women exist like that. And then they try to point out people like Ronda Rousey, or maybe how China used to look. And you know what? They are the exception, not the norm. Because most women that are into sports, like you look at the majority of even the female wrestlers in the WWE, these are strong women who could do a lot of physical activity that are well beyond the normal range of most women. Most of them don't look like that.
No.
All right.
Well, I mean, look, we are all great admirers of Gina Carano. Right. Not just because of, her personal fortitude when it comes to, withstanding the pummeling that people tried to levy on her for, not bowing or kowtowing to their whims, their myopic view of the world. But also because she's a very feminine, realistic build, somebody who's incredibly athletic and can kick a lot of people's booties. So when you see her portraying a character and she's done it many times that can kick somebody's booty, it's believable, right? She is believable as what she does, and yet she maintains all of her feminine wiles as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Very pretty lady, and she looks the part, right? And it blows a hole in their narrative, and that's why they don't like her.
And your Muslim uncle pointed out they made her look like Abby. And I think what gets ignored a lot is that when you do have women that have this kind of excess musculature for a female form, it takes so much more support in terms of muscle and gear, for those what gear is, in order to be able to attain and maintain that stature. Right. And a natural athletic woman doesn't have that.
Right. No. Yeah. And there's because of the way there's a biological difference called dimorphism. It is more difficult to maintain from one biological position to the other, and that's how I'm going to say that because people are a little.
Well, and it's not just that, but women they're stronger in different ways. The leg strength is a little stronger, so their fighting style would be different. They wouldn't go in with upper body strength, swinging swords around. Right, it would be a totally different fighting style, and they would play to the strengths of their body type.
Right. If you ever noticed, I don't know if anyone here has, but I do. I used to do some Krav Maga, and I would train with the female. Actually, one of the masters was a woman, and she was mostly doing a lot of kicks. She's, she can kick my ass any day, but she was, she's doing mostly kicks because she's going. The whole point of Krav Maga, at least, is you go your strengths and you exploit weaknesses. That's pretty much the basics of Krav Maga. And Also, on the topic of just women body types, like in fiction at least, it's fiction. It doesn't have to be realistic. Like that's the beauty of fiction, is that you're not supposed to be realistic. You're supposed to be an escape from reality. You're supposed to be having fun, enjoy yourself, be creative, and and I'm saying, like, if you want to go with like a super muscular woman thing, that's fine. Do it. Like if there's a reason, all that, and it works for whatever you're going for in your fantasy, that's fine. And you can do the exact opposite. You want to have like this super strong, this like dainty little woman that has like super strength, a la Superman style. You can do that too. That's the whole point of fiction, is to essentially not be bound by the limitations and the physics of the real world.
But that's the difference between then and now, right? Or what we believe things are and what they are trying to make them, which is they don't understand. They want to put everything in today's world. They're not feeding into a fictitious world. Not even no more. Not even with Marvel. Obviously not with this He-Man thing. Obviously whatever. They're trying to put it into this modern world, which it doesn't exist in, and it's not supposed to, because it's supposed to be pretend, like you were saying. So, but I need to get to a couple super chats real quickly. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow says, for $5, says, honest, I hated the 2002 Korean anime He-Man. Not a lot of people liked it, but I mean, some people did. And I said I paid $9.99, which DVD set costs now, after the Kevin Smith He-Man in 2002. He-Man is a fucking masterpiece. That's right. Thank you, Az, for that. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, Commander Ed Straker. And of course, the very generous super chat from our friend Lola Meats for $20 says, hey, Culture, great show as always. Thank you. I had a lot of fun on your show last night. Lola, by the way, Lola,
just leave that one up for a little bit.
Okay, I will. Lola did have a show last night. Lola After Midnight. Lots of great creators on there that get promoted, including our friend who just left, Makini draws Makini 90, however you would like to know him. But it's always interesting to listen to all the artists talk and their opinions, which seem to sound an awful lot like everybody here on this panel. And we did the discussion about male and female differences came up on that show as well last night, and you can't get away from it, because you can say things, they just doesn't make them true. You can say, we were just talking about it, say a thing 1 billion times, it's not going to make it any more true.
Also, a lot of people seem to forget, and I don't mean to go all like off on this topic, but a lot of people seem to forget women and men are physically different.
Yeah,
and, it's just why we're women and men. And yeah, you can have a woman that is stronger than a man, but typically men are stronger than women. They have bigger body mass,
more bone
density,
and
they have bigger body mass,
the Olympics.
And they have larger lung capacity. But that doesn't necessarily mean that just means every man is stronger. No, not at all. It just means that just looking at your atypical, at least healthy male and female, usually. Not always. Usually the male is stronger. But that being said, again, in fiction, you can mess it up and do whatever you want. The thing is, these people can't be creative even if they had a gun pointed to their head, which in most cases they probably are. They can't be creative at all. They don't have any morality, so they can't really do anything with that. And that's why we end up with the shit that we're getting.
Well, exactly. And even if you take the physical part out of it, as a character, the way that she's written, I mean, you have strong women characters. I mean, think of Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. That was a very strong female character. Now, did she go around and kick ass physically and lop people's heads off and get in fistfights? No, she was smart. No. And she used the tools that she had available to her to accomplish her goals. And so it just, there are many ways to write strong female characters, and this is not one of them. Making someone a complainer, blaming everybody else. I don't get it.
I don't either, and I don't know that it's. Look, we got another 5 years of this crap, guys. I'm sorry to say it that way, but Hollywood, because of a year of not doing anything and having a bunch of crap in the can, they still have all the same projects in development. They still have investments in all of these things, and they're not willing to change them. And it's not going to get any better. You're going to have some independent productions that'll rise to the occasion, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of change to get excited about. And Lola, once again, thank you for the $20 super chat. I'll finish reading it. Hail to your panel. Of course, they're all awesome. Keep on doing this great work. Well, absolutely. And I left that up there extra long for Zach because he found something to admire. We need to move along. And Erwin Avalon, by the way, another new creator. Awesome. She was great on the Pegasus Actual podcast with Brightest Day and I over on Drew Supreme Heretics channel. Says they claim we are pushing back against what represents femininity. No. However, they're the ones that moved the goalpost in the first place, not us. So, of course, they are getting pushback. Yeah, well, they've moved the goalposts a lot. There are different waves of feminism. Right now, they're at the we are men stage of feminism, which is not
now we want to be men.
Doesn't them make okay.
Yeah, they don't want to just be men. They want to be the asshole men that nobody.
Yeah, I mean, so see, this is what I don't understand about this third wave feminism stuff is that they're taking what they perceive to be the worst attributes of men and putting them onto women, and rather than being dependable, maybe being dependable, a good mentor, those kinds of things. Women can be great mentors, and if you write a woman well, women, regardless of how
instructor was a great mentor.
But regardless of how masculine some women are, they're still women, and they still have, on balance, a higher emotional intelligence than a man does, and that is one of their strengths, right? To the strength.
Their emotional EQ is vastly superior to ours. We are poor when it comes to that, even expressing our feelings. There's no doubt about that. But here's the thing, and I left this up on the screen here because this conversation is one of those things that I always enjoy having, especially when there's ladies in the chat. This is one of the times when we don't have full representation on the panel. So I want to bring this up. This is not Starfire. When you start talking about what Lola says here, they want to make everything, especially females, dull and gross because that's how they see themselves. So much so that they do self-inserts like this.
I was about to say, can I say something about self-inserts?
Of course
you can.
There
is a time and place. Now, here's one of the best examples and one of my personal favorite inserts, and that is Jack the King Kirby did somewhat. He did self-inserts a little bit often. Ben Grimm is kind of a self-insert, just visually when he's not when he's not the Thing. He's kind of like a fit version of Jack Kirby. Then you have the New Gods as well. You kind of have some self-inserts there from Jack the King, but that's the thing is he created brand new characters. Like it's not like he created characters in an existing franchise. He just created brand new characters that were just off the bat on their own thing. Like I'm just gonna create my own universe and create a character that's kind of like me.
Isn't there a term for inserting characters, a self-inserts? It's called Mary. Help me out here.
But here, in this case, this is a bad self-insert because, and I said, there is a time and place, but because self-inserts are such a tricky thing to do. Like, really, Jack Kirby's the only person I can think of that did it right.
Stanley did it.
Tricky thing to do. It's usually just best not to do it at all.
Right, realistically, you can get away with it if you're not the focus. You're self-inserting
yourself as the daughter of a fan-favorite character in a major franchise.
Which already exists.
This chick needs to self-insert herself into a before picture for a diet ad, I think.
You guys remember, for anyone who's not a huge DC fan here, at least in one of the continuities, in the Kingdom Come continuity, which takes place like 30-plus years in the future, you have Starfire and Nightwing's daughter, Nightstar, who is first off smoking hot, but second off, it's kind of like a mix of Starfire and Nightwing. You know, like she's got Nightwing's black hair, a little bit more human toned orange skin because she's a human Temerian hybrid. So it looks like, okay, this is the child of these two really good looking superheroes. Whereas here, this is just, I'm just the artist, but now I'm this character's daughter. Who, by the way, no father in.
Who hates her mom?
Where's the father?
So, who is this person that we're looking at on the screen, and what is this inserted into?
This is one of the new books that they tried to get out there in the world called "I Am Not Starfire." This is Taki something or another. I always forget her last name. But she basically put herself in as this character. Starfire is a very attractive super heroine to and this is her daughter, who is as
complete opposite of everything.
Is she the villain? Is she?
No, she's supposed to like be the hero because something happened.
She's the hero of the buffet line.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like she's in the buffet line, and then she goes to the bathroom to do some cutting, and then she comes back out and eats. Gets back in the buffet line.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was.
It's the same with that safe space. I'm sorry. I'm a fat dude. I'm not going to be a hero. Yeah, Trailblazer. I can't run upstairs, multiple floors of stairs to save people from a burning building. I'm too damn fat to do it. Well, so I'm not the fucking hero type. I'm not gonna write myself into a comic book.
During my initial reaction thing of Dog Kibble's new weirdos, and that's what I call them, the new weirdos, and I call them.
He's now writing for Blade. Did you hear about that?
So he's writing.
They gave him Blade.
I heard about that, and when one of the things was the guy can only make force fields to protect other people, but not himself, and I'm just like. Oh, and we're assessing all these people's powers, all the new weirdos' powers when we were doing the initial review or reaction, I should say, to the announcement. I'm like, and I was with Poger, my best friend. We started this channel together, and he's like, we're just going over to each other, like, we can beat these kids up, right? Like you and I, just deep normal New Yorkers with no powers can beat these kids up if we were in a fight.
I forget who it was, but someone said, so does that mean if Safe Space is caught on his own, he's completely powerless? And it's like, there's no response.
I'm in a dark alley and stab him to death.
Can you imagine Carnage taking on that team? He'd annihilate them within a couple of
minutes. Oh my god, yeah. Well,
he mocked them. He'd be standing there and they'd be like, we're the heroes. He'd be like, no, really. Really, they're the hero.
Spider-Man of the MCU, Carnage would gut him like a fucking fish, no problem. Pardon my French, but seriously, you take any of these old school villains, even the Hobgoblin would be able to kill some of these guys.
Well, yeah, he would mock them
You know what? A C-lister fucking pardon my French, sorry, Shocker would be able to kill these kids. The real Shocker, the Herman Schultz Shocker who has the vibroelectric gauntlets, who would be able to kill the weirdos, MCU Spite. And that's the thing is, I get it. They want to market towards kids and all that, especially kind of going on a tangent right here with Marvel MCU Spider-Man. But it's I get you're trying to go to a new, trying to get to younger viewers and all that. But at the same time, the original thing worked for a reason. Why are you changing it?
So I had a question for
Killsmith.
They are creatively bankrupt.
Exactly.
Is Killsmith no longer afraid of black people with sharp objects? Because in that first interview,
that's right. He was intimidated
he was intimidated black guys with knives. Now he's got Blade. I'm like,
that's okay. He's going to go from Blade to using electric
because he had a skateboard. A knife come out of his gauntlet, all like Assassin's Creed, which was really cool, by the way.
Yeah. I did again. If you guys followed me on YouTube, one of the first things that was breakout for me was the Kibblesmith stuff. I did a couple of videos on it. They're still hysterically funny. The dude is just, the quotes in the show that were defining quotes. I actually have one queued up here on the soundboard that I love.
He's never been late, has he?
That's the host of the show, the dating show, and she's
right
on the air.
He's never been late, has he?
And they left it in the show. In fact, you can look at there was a live stream I did over on the Geek Blend, and I brought in the whole video, and we watched the segment where he's looking at the Prince, who's the other rich dating person on the show. The Millionaire Matchmaker, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And he was more interested in the Prince. His mouth was agape and everything else. He was more interested in him than he was in the girls that were around him. And you can see in that date that you see the one specifically where he's crawling out of his skin because she tried to hug him.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh yeah, he does that.
His hot chick trying to hug him, and he's like,
hey. And then he's complaining because he's got glitter on his shirt. I'm like, wait till later. You're going to get glitter a lot of places, buddy. But anyway, Wes Moody sent a $2 super chat, who I think this was the reaction to I Am Not Starfire. Yeah. Pregnant pause. Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
F. Kibblesmith, dude couldn't bruise a banana if he stepped on it. He's not exactly a heavy guy. Kibblesmith will add Blade into a sequel. His book is called Santa's Husband. I think that's probably true. And if Kibblesmith is a Kibblesmith above or below a kibblemonger, are they the productive kibble proletariat? Inquiring minds need to know. Well, I don't know. I think I can't. They make kibbles, I believe. A kibblesmith makes the kibbles, and a kibble monger either sells them, right? Either right? Yeah. That's why that's why Killmonger never made sense to me as a name. I'm like, are you hiring kills? I mean, what do you? How somebody?
Well, culture, wouldn't a kibble monger be somebody who hoards the kibbles?
Yeah, either that or sells them. Mongers like a fishmonger, right? A fishmonger is usually someone who's selling fish, right? Well, yeah, your Muslim uncle says something.
So Killmonger would make sense.
I think Brie Larson is a cheesemonger.
Maybe, but your Muslim uncle says, I don't want them to be weak. I just don't like them wanting me to be weak. Very good and very well said, your Muslim uncle. Oh no,
God.
Cheesemonger.
No, get out now.
Hold on. Sorry, that was me. Yeah,
there you go.
Cheesemonger.
God.
Yikes.
I don't think I've ever said this, but if a chick who looked like her was on her knees with her mouth, I'd be like, no. I don't know where that's been.
Look, this would be Jaffo. Look, man, please make Blade gay black man who's afraid of being touched by women.
Oh my God,
that might be the route they take. I hate to say how accurate that might be.
Blade was such a badass character, and now God.
Yeah, what?
Did you see his little message when he announced it? Did you guys see his message when he announced it? He's like, I'm doing Blade. I think he'd say he's doing one Blade comic.
You guys remember one of the last Weirdos character that no one talks about? B Negative, the vampire kid.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
I thought of all of the characters he created, B Negative was probably the only one that was going to be okay.
Right. Yeah, like the spawn of Morbius might actually be a usable character.
Yeah, like Dump Truck and and I don't know, like Safe Room.
Oh, weird
here's
gas kid. Here's what gassed me with internet gas.
The hell was internet gas?
Act like anyone's grandfather would be experimenting with the internet.
Well, I was gonna say when he announced this,
he's looking for single 80s chicks.
Chat is
like, so lonely, and I have to babysit this damn kid.
That's true.
Now get off my lawn.
No, like literally in the message that he sent out when he announced it, he's like, I'm gonna do one of Blade books. They're letting and then he's like, this will be a lot more violent than I'm used to, but I hope I'll do well. I'm like, more.
Oh dear God.
Dear God.
So Daniel, describe your Blade. I don't know. I use electric.
Oh my God.
I know that was bad. Sorry.
All right. Well, here's what we're going to do because we are winding down. We got 8 minutes left of the show. I usually try to make sure everybody gets a chance to say peace out. We need to go over and support Machini 90 over on the Machini Draws stream, guys. I want to say thank you to those of you who were here to participate in the panel and those of you in the chat, because without you, we'd be nowhere. Let's start with the most famous guinea pig I know.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. He would like to see you over at his channel at some point. He likes to talk about old toys and old movies. I personally can't stand it myself, but he seems to like it, and a few of the people that stop by do as well. He was recently talking about that no good bastard Hordak, the guy who put me down as Skeletor. I don't know why he'd be talking about that toy, but whatever. He plans on talking about me at some point, as Skeletor. Wait a minute. I'm the Joker. I'm so confused about this. Mark Hamill, you have a lot to answer for.
Anyway, guys, remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives you consent. And you know what? You got to be careful around Stephen Walton. Hide all your plants, because I hear he may be coming through your town.
No, just your trees. You know, just and things that are like the deciduous trees primarily. But yeah. All right, the Mirasphere without the Minisphere. What's up, bud?
Hail, everyone. Thank you for being here. And again, we're not Kevin Smith. We are real nerds who love everything, that you guys love. And without you, everyone who's here in the chat, without you guys, we would be fucking nothing. So we will never become more, like fucking egomaniac, fucking nut jobs.
Anyways.
Because we know we're one of you and you are one of us. And we respect you and we respect everything you do. Because without the fans, you got nothing.
That's true, man.
Fucking, all right. We love you guys.
Yeah, we do. And Mirasphere's got a good channel, guys. Check him out. He's doing an awful lot of occasional things.
Yeah.
Occasional things.
I try to do, like, you guys have no, like, literally, I'll be like, it's 10 o'clock at night. Like, he's asleep. Finally, just lay him down. I'm going to start my stuff. And then, wham. I'm just like, yeah.
Guys are so great. Kitty Bear. Yeah. Oh man, I appreciate you guys so much. All right, well, we're gonna move on to our buddy. The man who used to be the busiest dude I know. Now it sounds like he's streamlined his life. It's Mando Merc.
No, I'm still gonna be super busy. I mean, come on. Now I have 3 shows a week. On top of my Twitch stuff. Yeah. So that's good. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, so I have a tri-weekly podcast thing now. So every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be live over at Cast in the Shadows, which is my channel where I do all things escapism. And we're going to be talking about comic books, gaming, movies, TV shows, whatever the topic is at the time. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Captain Un-America, because apparently Captain America no longer supports the American dream because... Yay. I think they're confusing Captain America and Red Guardian, although that's just me being hopeful and funny. Not really. But it's going to be interesting to talk about. I also have a Twitch channel where I live stream every Monday night and Wednesday night, playing games, really whatever game I feel like it. But I stream there every Monday and Wednesday night as well. And I also do art commissions for anyone that needs it. I did Vigilante Williamson's logo. I did Cold Blood Critics logo. So if anyone needs a logo or a banner, or I know Shellback and I are in talks right now about his. He wants to write a comic book, so he wants me to do the cover art.
Cool.
So if you really need an art trade, then
it's going to be great. All right. Well, thank you, Mando, once again for being back, because it's been a while. And then, of course, we have our turtle, who Mando Merc just mentioned, the man with the shell, the man that, he'll give you hell if you don't listen. What's going on?
He'll give you shell.
Well, I mean, after all this, He-Man and Tila talk, I'm thinking about taking my avatar here and putting Tila's head on my avatar.
There you go.
Because I mean it's practically the same.
Sure.
But no, but yeah, I like Mando was saying, I was inspired to make my own graphic novel type of thing. And nice. I'm still working on the story. It's kind of like I don't know if you call it writer's block or whatever, but I've got an outline. I've got an outline. I just don't have all the little particular knickknacks of a story. But when it gets to that point, to actually putting it on paper, we will have men that look like men, that act like men. We will have women that look like women and act like women, and not just a Karen that has fallen into a life of dark makeup and bonbons.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Shellbach. Again, I appreciate you being here. Of course, we have the.
I just had the All in the Family theme song go in my head when
Yeah,
it
me
was like, when women were women and men were men.
That's right.
Those were
the days. Those
were the days.
Wes, can you do us a favor? Don't grace us with your singing again.
But that wasn't singing. Welcome, my friends. Well, it's good to see everybody here. We have the best panel on YouTube for, of course, the best chat on YouTube. We love you. And thank you for tuning in to the Sunday Culture Review. You can find me at youtube.com/WesMoodyWebcast and odyssey.com/WesMoodyWebcast. And I talk about current events, pop culture, occasional, 2 planes, 3 buildings, and gaming streams. I promised I'd behave myself. And then I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to. I hope to see you there. I'm going to be on Comics Division tomorrow for Yelling at Parked Cars. Then we have Trekking on Tuesday, 8 o'clock Pacific time. Whatever, Wednesday on my channel, 8 o'clock Pacific time. And maybe some of these great folks on the panel might even show up. Hope to see you there.
All right. And finally, our special guest of the day, our buddy Zach, also known as Brightest Day. Got to check out his channel, guys. Get him up into the 250, 300 club. Let's work on that. Tell more about you, Zach.
Thanks, Culture. So again, I want to thank you for having me on. I know this kind of panel isn't my forte. I appreciate everybody giving me the time. I love and respect you all. I try to support as many as possible. My schedule is actually a little bit more busy than it has been. Sundays are usually free, but every once in a while I will try to do what I call an open forum stream where I let someone else come on and promote their content. I should probably get back to doing that because there's a lot of good content that needs to be promoted in this community. Monday, and for the next few Mondays, I will be continuing my live read of the Battlestar Galactica novelization by Jeffrey A. Carver. I'm going to be on stream 5 out of 10, so we're about halfway done with that. Awesome. Tuesdays, I am on Ironcaster's channel for the Mobile Suit Gundam Roundtable, and that leads into my Gundam build stream on my own channel, which lasts for 2 to 3 hours. Wednesdays, as I stated in the beginning of the show, I've started the Brightest Day After Dark stream, where we go over adult content, adult film. Thursdays, I am on Drew Supreme Heretics channel for Pegasus Actual Podcast with Culture Casino and Arwen Avalon, who's in the chat. Very, very good addition. She more than earned her place. Fridays, I usually hang out on Friday Night Tights and try to release something random, and then I do humorous shorts throughout the rest of the week.
And Zach is very, very busy. He does a lot of cool stuff. The Gunpla stuff, models and all that is really, really cool. So do check that stuff out. I want to say thank you for your time today. I know that it took a bit to get you here, but I appreciate it. So it's well worth the planning. And let's get us all back on screen. I want to say thank you for the reminder, Noble Arrow, that Doomcock does have the pop culture breakdown tonight or late this afternoon, depending upon where you live. So that's always a good stream to check out. Lots of insight and great guests. And from time to time, you even get Valiant Renegade and some other people over there, including Tom and some others. So that's always a great place to stop by. And as your Muslim uncle says, hail in peace and a freaking and an awesome freaking panel. 100%. Thank you for being here. You guys are incredible. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. It truly is.
Wash other parts too.
Yeah, behind the ears as well. You never forget behind the ears.
Wash your ass. Everywhere. Wash everywhere.
Bye.
Forget to drink your Ovaltine. It's a goddamn commercial.
Remember, TiVo, you can skip the parts you don't want.